the City. What is going on, St. Louis City fans? Welcome back to Soul of the City, brought to you by First Touch Media. Today is Monday, September 11th, and we just experienced a pretty odd 2-2 draw in the city of Los Angeles. I think it's technically a suburb of Los Angeles is where they play, the Galaxy. Interesting game, to say the least. First half was very dominant. Second half was kind of full of, I'll just say, one blunder. I won't say there was too many other blunders in the second half.
A lot of action.
A lot of action.
Action-packed.
Yeah.
Definitely. Had me biting my nails to the very end.
Agreed.
Yeah. One man had us all biting our nails until the very end, and he ended up not being on the pitch after the, 60th minute, I think it was.
Yep.
But we can get into that later. We start the game with a 4-4-2, going back to the dual striker setup, seeing Klaus and Adeniran start next to each other.
Klaus first start.
Yep, first start back.
Welcome back, my boy.
Yeah, for real. Welcome back. I saw he didn't hit that celly last night.
But you know what he did?
He put up at the number of goals he has, right?
He did just when he subbed.
Yeah, when Gio came in. Yo, who do you think you are? Just stealing my thunder, man. I'll choke you out on camera.
I'm going to do it the rest of the pod.
When Gio came in, him and Gio walked up to each other and hit the ooh-ooh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because they haven't been able to start together yet, but it's coming soon. Well, I guess they're going to be...
definitely coming because Adeniran got sent off.
Yep. True.
And then we saw AZ off the left with Leuven and Blom playing as those two kind of 8 pivots, and then Stroud off the right with Nielsen, Parker, Markanek off the left, and Akil Watts off the right on defense. And honestly, I like that starting lineup. Markanek is attacking minded, and it kind of does leave us a little bit open in the back. I don't know. You guys think they look dangerous down that side to me?
Yeah. It felt like in this game the press was a little bit more on than we've seen it in the past weeks. I felt like we were sending multiple like midfield bodies forward to go press. And I feel like it panned out in the first half, and I felt I would have continued into the second had some unfortunate circumstances not taken place.
Yeah, I mean, we can get right into the game.
You got any input over there?
It's a quick like turnaround from start of the game to an unlikely hero. Leuven surging through the midfield near the halfway line, and he finds Stroud making pretty nice diagonal run across the defense into the box. Stroud takes an awful
Terrible touch.
Terrible touch.
God,
he flicks
awful.
it like 10 feet in the air, and then he makes up for it by playing a pretty nice ball across the mouth of goal. It did get deflected, and it falls to Adeniran, whose feet are pretty tidy, and he finishes past Bond to make it 1-0 City.
Pretty tidy, man. That touch was impeccable.
It was nice.
With a deflection,
Yep.
Jared just ripping that in, closing his eyes and just ripping
Praying.
it. Yeah.
Dude,
And
stop shitting on Scary Jerry.
He continues to be the luckiest player on St. Louis.
I mean,
The dude got an assist in the 4th minute, and we can't even give him his props. We just got to shit on him.
I mean,
because
terrible touch.
I think the terrible touch was indicative of the remainder of his performance that evening.
I'd say through like part of that first half, he looked pretty good.
Momentum killer, backwards dribble merchant. I just cannot watch him play. It infuriates me.
I can't watch AZ play because his right foot is non-existent.
Hey, why don't we get to this second goal and
Yeah.
you'll be
Okay.
twisting your words backwards.
Well, before we get to the second goal, Cuevas finds himself running down the right-hand side, and Joveljic actually makes a really nice run in between Tim Parker and Akil Watts, and this should be a goal.
Was it a header straight to Berkey?
It was
Straight
like
at
a
him.
beautiful ball by Cuevas, right onto Joveljic's head, and he just fires it directly at Berkey. Anywhere else on goal, I think there's no chance he's saving that.
Joveljic ate up. He did not do anything versus us in the home fixture either. He was uninspiring.
Yeah, except beat us. That's why I'm pissed that we drew this game.
No, we drew them at home.
No.
Yeah, it was 1-1.
Was it?
They had quite a few chances directly at Berkey.
I remember because I was media at that game. Poggers.
Actually.
You're right. 1-1.
An elephant never forgets.
you
What
know-
were you saying? Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh, that they just had quite a few chances directly at Berkey.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. A lot of shots like right at Berkey.
It was, could have been a different game. I think with Mark Hanich and Watts, I'd be interested. I've been saying it a long time. It hardly ever works out, but 3 in the back, let them cook a little bit. They're both more attacking able than defensive able, especially Markanich. But, I mean, this looked like we were going to,
Run away with it.
On route for a route.
Yeah, speaking on route for a route, 28th minute, AZ picks up a loose ball that was cleared off of a cross from the left side. And this was nasty. This is like where that talent that like Europe is calling about is shown. Because he just loses an LA Galaxy player and drives straight down the middle of the field, gets the center back to step as he plays a beautifully weighted ball in for Klaus. He doesn't have to think about anything. He just hits it with his right foot, pushes it right under the keeper, and we're up 2-0.
He was looking like prime Son Heung-min versus West Ham. Y'all remember that individual goal that he scored? Ooh. AZ,
that was a goal.
AZ stonks. Psh, 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 psh. We selling him 10 mil this summer.
Nah, I need him to have like 4 consecutive stinkers so that nobody comes
Nobody
and tries
comes
to buy
in.
him.
No, I think it would actually be beneficial to St. Louis if we pick him up in the super draft for next to nothing and flip him for 10 mil. I
Hey.
think that's incredible.
Let him cook for 1 more year.
Yeah, I'd like to, if we don't win anything this year. I remember seeing that like Bukayo Saka thing where they were like, would you rather win the league or and like lose Saka in the summer or like keep him and you get like second or something? It's like if we won the league, I'd sell AZ for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Reinvest in other areas.
for sure.
Absolutely. But I feel like he hasn't even tapped his full potential yet. and
But that's why I feel like USMNT prospect, like, get him over there to Europe. And, I mean, it's kind of a difficult scenario, right? Because,
what if
yes,
he
we're trying
flops?
to... Well, not even that what if he flops. It's like we are trying to build a new culture here in St. Louis of continuing to develop players to their maximum potential. But it still kind of is the pathway to being your best is by going to Europe.
Well, you got to test yourself somewhere else.
Yep.
Like
Yeah.
if you just stay in the MLS, you're going to end up like Giassi Zardes or something. Like,
I don't
it's
want to
just-
end up being a feeder team, though.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole league is gonna be a feeder league. Like people, if they see talent they like, are gonna come for it, and we are
Yeah.
not gonna be able to say no.
Yeah. I mean, you can if you have a contract.
That's true. You can force them to see out their contract, but it's not like a smart business decision. And I think that the front office that we have will definitely trust themselves to find more starlets.
I just think as long as it's either go buy retired talent or sell your, or just both, we're just not going to progress that much. But
I don't think
at some point you gotta try to be a better league.
Yeah, I'm not going to be upset either way. Whether we go to sell AZ, whether we keep him for another season, I'm going to be very happy either way and cheer him on in the rest of his career. So
Agreed. I mean, if you went to Bayer Leverkusen, they're stinking it right now in the Bundesliga.
yeah,
With Xabi Alonso as
Yeah.
their coach.
Yeah.
right?
If he could, my worry is he just doesn't, start. But money's money, so
yeah.
I mean, money's money, and for all that we want to say we have a great academy in America, can develop youth talent. I think that the
Only to
Bundesliga
a
is
certain
probably
extent.
better for your
Yeah, better bang for your
development.
buck. No,
like. There's a
doubt.
reason the best players in the world, like Holland, wanted to go to Dortmund for 2 years before he went somewhere else when
Yep.
he could have gone wherever he wanted to.
So we sell them and then they loan them out to us for another year.
There you go. I'd take that.
5 head. Dang, we injecting you straight into the front office.
Yeah.
My head hurts.
You just created a thumbnail clip. Well done,
Brain's
sir.
exploding. So in the 47th minute, we have Costa, who plays kind of a weird pass across the top of the box, and this is another shot that ends up directly at Berkey. But Tyler Boyd, who looked, he got a lot of chances, he just didn't really have his finishing boots on. This one he hits with his right foot, and I think if Nielsen doesn't get a deflection on it, it's not going at Berkey. I think it's going in the side netting.
Yeah.
So
Agreed.
Nielsen with a giant, play there.
He's looked good.
He has.
Yeah,
He's-
I've been
he's
impressed.
very cool and collected. In
Yeah,
that.
this is the first time the entire spine started in Leuven, Klaus, Blom, Nielsen, Berkey. Like that's like the spine of St. Louis City. It's the first time they've started together.
Yeah,
and they've only played 74 minutes together.
Yeah, and it's sad because it comes in a game where we looked great and probably should have ran away with it. But coming into the second half, balls popped out from a corner. First man gets to it, hits it low and hard, and then it kind of like hits off of another defender, goes over to the right-hand side of near the PK spot, outside of the 6-yard box. Tyler Boyd hits one, and this is where the PK rule just needs to be consistent. I don't know if it has to be reassessed. It just needs to be consistent. Like in Kansas City, we saw what we think, and I think most others think. Like Taylor Twellman posted like a tweet of the GIF of each of these handballs right next to each other, and Adeniran is like turning sideways to try and block the shot, and his hand is just kind of like sticking out from his side,
just barely.
He's trying to pull
he
it
is trying
away.
to pull it back,
and that's what I think needs to be assessed about the rule. Is like, if somebody's making an active attempt to get their hand out of the way, like there's only so much you can do with your arms. Like, unless players are just going to start tying their arms to their sides, I just don't understand. Like, if you're actively trying to get it out the way, like, and there's also, I don't get it. He blasted that. Like, that was a rip.
Yeah, it was hit right at Berkey too. I don't think it was going in.
It wasn't going in. It's just, it's so rough. It's such a harsh call. Like, maybe it needs to be assessed that, like, if it's an act of trying to pull it out the way, it's an indirect free kick in the box.
Oh, God.
You know what I'm saying?
I think that it's just
like automatic goal pretty much for what?
I think it's an indictment of the refereeing, because we see the exact same thing happen in the Kansas City game. It's a clear handball by the rules definition.
No review.
And then we go bitch at the refs, and we get nothing because we're St. Louis. LA goes and bitches at the refs at home, and they get it reviewed. I just need to see clear and consistent use of VAR in the league for it to like be there at all. Because, look, this is a penalty by the rules, and then he also gets a yellow card, which is important.
That's even the worst thing is like unintentional handball. Like, the only reason it's yellow is because it's in the box.
It's because it's off of a shot in the box. Yes.
I mean, again, if you're like, I'll get it if you're just standing there with your arm out, or if you're trying to save it, you know?
Yeah.
But damn.
I mean, if you're trying to save it, then
it's a red card.
You're
Yeah,
off
if you do what
anyways.
Luis Suarez did the World Cup, it's a red card. I'm sorry.
So, like, a fucking penalty is enough. Like, that's
Right.
enough of a punishment. Either, you know what I mean? Like, it shouldn't be both.
Yeah.
And I mean,
the rules state that it should be both, but I agree with you
fuck
that
the rules.
it shouldn't be both. I think it's just a penalty.
Also,
you give him the penalty, and he gets off scot-free.
Lame-ass MLS rules.
these sorts of games are a constant reminder of being in the U.S. and large market teams
Getting their
just
way.
getting their way,
having their way
overbitten,
with us.
like smaller market
Well,
teams.
you say large market. Did you see the stands at this LA game?
They were
maybe
fucking empty.
there was maybe 7,000 at that game.
Yeah, it was rough. I mean, they're having one of their worst seasons in their
true.
history, and for us to not be able to get 3 points off of them at all this season is pretty disappointing, I would say, considering they're probably the largest brand in the MLS. Actually, now it's probably Inter Miami now that Messi's there.
Yeah.
But prior
Historically,
to this,
yeah.
the staple of the MLS is LA Galaxy, who get Ibra and Beckham and Chicharito
Donovan.
and
and
Donovan
Ricky Pooj.
and Ricky Puig.
Don't
who-
say no dumb shit like that.
Yeah,
He's not on their level. He did look good in this game.
Yeah. Oh, he did.
looked like
I
a
think.
Oompa Loompa.
Well, I just want to say what happened was what I think happened is I think I jinxed St. Louis City because in the entire first half, after we went up 2-0, I was just saying, man, I could just put Ricky Puig in a triangle chokehold. I would smoke Ricky Puig in a fist fight on the street.
I bet you
And
would.
I think,
but like,
and I think it just went poorly after that.
Ricky Puig is the one that scores the penalty, and then
It wasn't even that convincing of a penalty either. Berkey almost gets
he almost
there.
gets a hand to
He
it.
did
It's
get a
it's a
hand to
bad
it.
height for a pen. I think he's trying to put it in that top left corner, and he just doesn't hit it high enough. But it still goes in. And then 60th minute, Adeniran is just on Puig's back, pushing into him. And he takes a touch out in front of him, and Adeniran just takes his legs out from under him in, like, the dumbest challenge in history. Yeah, Big Sam's going to have to wear this one on his sleeve, sitting on the bench for the next couple games probably.
Yeah.
Like, he had to have forgotten.
That's what I'm saying.
That's the
I think
only
he
rationale.
I think what happened was I telepathically communicated with him.
Hurt him.
Hurt this man.
Ricky Pooja.
He was just
If you're
thinking in
going to
his
get a
head.
red, at least, you
Yeah.
know, give him a bigger knock than that. You know what I'm saying?
He was
Yeah.
rolling around so
Yeah, it's
hard
'cause
after
he's a little
this, too.
baby.
I know.
Oh, me.
Dude, I just hate the way he tucks his shirt in.
Me too.
I think that's the only thing I dislike about him. Because he's a good
Goofball.
midfielder, and he's, like, fun to watch with the ball, but he just
Cornball.
looks goofy.
he looks
Yeah.
like, a FIFA my player.
Yeah.
Long sleeve and the tuck shirt.
Barca prospects are just flopping all over the world, truthfully. Ex-Barca prospects. It's unfortunate, but it's the
Fob
truth.
scored against us.
Yeah, La Masia in the mud scoring against
Both
STLSC.
games, right? Didn't he score?
It was,
I'm not actually sure about
it was
that.
a Costa assist. I don't remember who scored it, though.
Either way, I hate that man.
Why? Just cause?
He's kind of a hateable character, I think.
LA,
LA Galaxy is
He's
a
just a-
dislikable character. They are a villain character for sure.
not even. I mean, they might have used to been, but like
Now it's
now
Inter
they
Miami.
just cry the whole game and flop everywhere. Like that first game was
Yeah.
just them on the ground the entire game.
Yeah, fighting for a point.
Yeah.
Yep. No, they are. I mean, that's just like annoying to watch. I remember that now. Just them crying.
Oh.
They got their goal in that game and just started crying.
Mm-hmm.
And then later in the second half, they have some pretty convincing possession and opportunities leading up to an 82nd minute free kick, which is taken and bent towards the far post where Yuri is waiting, and he sends it back across the box where championship legend Fox in the Box Billy Sharp is waiting to tap in a tying goal. Billy Sharp,
Offside.
he's definitely not,
He's
and that's
not
the
offside.
funniest part of this whole thing. If you go watch the highlights on YouTube, Tim Parker is like body blocking him from basically in front of him the
Yeah.
whole time, and then after the ball goes into the goal because he leaves him goal side, he proceeds to stand there and just put his hand up.
Come
like,
on, bro.
Is he off? Like, no, Tim, he's not off. You know that.
So that kind of upset me about Tim Parker's like play in this game. The other thing that really upset me was like, man, they were going after Berkey, like hard contact on Berkey. Multiple
Yeah.
multiple times, because there was two moments I remember that Berkey was slow to get up, and I was like shaking. I was like, please tell me that they did not hit him that hard,
Bro,
because
Berkey got the biggest arms in the MLS. Like, he can handle himself.
okay, but he shouldn't have to handle
Where the
himself.
fuck
I think
agree.
the fact
That's your goalie.
because there's one play, and I can't remember. Maybe it was Billy Sharp. Somebody throws an elbow basically into his rib cage.
Yeah, it's probably a
And
Billy Sharp.
There is no St. Louis City reaction to any of the LA Galaxy players. Berkey's down. It's like, that's your goalie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go throw down for him. He
Yeah, let's go get another red card.
not even get another red card. You're not going to get a red card for going and just getting in the face of somebody. You don't have to like be so aggressive where you're throwing headbutts, but go show yourself and make it be known that that's not allowed on your
go
goalie.
Zinedine Zidane. Right into that mother truck.
Ooh,
I wonder what that'll sound like.
Oh man,
Yeah,
I wonder what
on
the
the
viewers
mic.
think about that. But yeah, that
Um,
was my only other thing.
They had a couple more chances. I think Billy Sharp had like a header in the 90th minute that ended up coming to nothing. And then Marcanic has the ball at the end of the game in like the 99th minute and
Yeah, it was
hits a volley.
Well, I think it started from a Vasilev free kick.
Yeah.
Did we go
Oh,
over
yeah.
the subs in this one?
No, we didn't. The subs were, I think Gio comes on for Klaus. Adeniran gets his red card, and I think Yarrow actually comes on, and we start playing a 3 at the back system.
Yeah, I think for Leuven. I think it was, Leuven and Klaus to come off for Gio and Yarrow. And then Hebert came on as well, I think for Nielsen or AZ?
it was probably AZ, considering we ended up
Yeah,
moving
it was
to-
Gio for Klaus was the first one, and
Yeah.
then Yarrow, Hebert, Thorson was like a three-man sub.
I don't. Yarrow should have come on way sooner.
After we were down a man?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, in that moment, you got to go full defensive.
Absolutely.
I feel like we have this conversation every match week at this point. It's just,
Bro, it can't always be Carnell's fault.
dude, that's like the go-to. You get a red card, you put a center back in.
The fact that we walk away from this game with a point,
oh yeah,
Carnell.
if I'm LA and we don't get a win with that much time on 10 men, and it was only one goal difference by the time the red came. I mean, they gotta be disappointed. That's a hard fought point by us there. I mean, it's definitely not fun to watch with a red card and giving up a 2-goal lead.
Yeah, it's not fun like squabbling points away because we're up 2-0 on a team that is definitely worse than us. Why are we not finishing this off? Like, I get we haven't seen this before from Sam. He just has a lapse in judgment, but like we got to be able to hold this out and not give away silly fouls and penalties. Without
knowing the circumstances, if you told me we got a point away anywhere really, I'm
You're
cool
not
with that.
Unhappy.
Yeah. Could have been worse, but yeah.
Considering our away form, I agree because we're not good away. Well, dude, we always show out early away. We score first in the SKC game. We score first in this game. We score twice in this game before they even really do anything.
Got
besides
a sniff of anything, yeah.
Jovic chance. But that second half, they came out, and honestly, before Adeniran got his red card, they were still kind of dominating the ball and looked like the better
getting
side.
Chances.
Yeah. It's just sad to see.
I'm not a big fan of the double pivot, to be honest.
I prefer the 3 in midfield, definitely.
I'm a big fan of
the diamond.
One CDM that's job is to back up the defense.
I think if you're going to play this 4-4-2 formation, you can't play Marcanic and Watts at the same time because they're both too offensively minded.
Yeah, but who do you play?
What do you mean? Hebert at the left back, and that way you have like a 3 at the back.
Marcanic is better.
I mean, he is better. I'm not saying
Hebert also has defensive lapses frequently.
I don't disagree, but I think if you're gonna play 2 basically wing backs, like
you shouldn't be doing
both
that.
of them want
3 center backs
to kind of bomb forward. At times. You got to play a 3 in midfield and have Blom sit in front of those center backs so that they have like a kind of security blanket.
Or play 3 in the back.
Or play 3 in the back, which we ended up going to. I wouldn't be like mad if we played a Parker on the right side, Nielsen in the middle, Yarrow on the left. But I feel like this is probably the closest thing we have seen to what Carnell is going to start rolling out at the end of the season when it's time to like win the MLS Cup.
Mm-hmm.
And I think in one-off games, this might actually be good. Maybe Marcanic sits for Hebert or what?
I'm cool with one up top. If we have one up top there and we put a Vasilev in the middle with Blom at CDM, I think that's a good lineup.
Yeah. I think it's good too. I just think that, look, Stroud probably shouldn't be starting. We can be on the same page there. Maybe Rasmus Alm gets the start there.
Yeah.
And then I thought AZ off the left looked really good. I don't know what his position is typically, like what he would say he is.
Yeah.
But he's looked good at Cam and then kind of had like some dips in form and hasn't looked great recently. But off the left, he looked
revitalized a bit.
Looked dangerous. I think he could play as like a winger on the left, honestly, if we're looking for kind of a more creative outlet than someone that's going to run at people. But
yeah, I just don't think our defense is solid enough to play a double pivot with 2 strikers.
I just want to see these left-footed players on the right, man. I want to see them cook and cut inside and curl, and I say it every single week, and
I know you
don't
want
ever
Vasilev,
see it.
But
we never see it.
I don't think we have the personnel that's going to like cook somebody and cut inside and just whip one. Like, I can see Vasilev doing it with his left foot just because he's got a nasty left foot. But I don't see him, like, cooking a defender that hard.
I don't think he's that good.
Come on.
I think he's good, but I think he's better in the middle.
Yeah.
I also
where he can kind of dictate.
think we should get a defensive right back.
You think so?
Yeah.
I think that, if anything, we get a more defensive left back because I like Akil Watts. I think he's more solid defensively and has just as good a crossing as Marcanic.
I think we should sign number 3 from Uzbekistan.
And who would that be? Do you have his name?
No,
I got a screenshot of his name somewhere.
All right.
But that's stored away. That's for later. That's a DM between me and Lutz. We've been talking about it. And I think we might make it happen. Truthfully, he's 26 years old. And he was kind of cooking the U.S. That was a game that happened.
I think we might make it happen, this man just said. His insider sources.
Listen,
DMing
man.
Lutz on Instagram.
This just
no
in,
response.
Fabrizio ain't got shit on me.
To St. Louis.
Okay,
Here we go.
Now you're pushing it a little bit. But that was another, I mean, we can kind of talk about the situation that arose at City Park one day prior to this game. I don't know if you guys care about it.
I didn't get a chance to watch
U.S.
that
soccer.
shit.
It was basically a bear halter fucking snooze fest. We
Dude,
scored
he's
one goal.
bailed out by
We scored one goal in like the 12th minute, which was a beautiful goal. Weston McKennie plucks a ball out of thin air and has like 4 defenders around and plays it out to Weah, who one time bangs it. But for the rest of the game, man, Uzbekistan were just beckoning to tie it up.
Uzbekistan.
Yeah. And we scored 2 goals in added time in the 90-plus minute. But the big controversy was that, GGG came to the training facility and was like touted St. Louis as the soccer capital of the U.S.
Oh,
in
yeah.
my eyes, to draw more people to the game. I don't really know. But he ultimately, we only got 16K. We didn't sell out the stadium, which, it
Is
makes
that the
sense.
first time we haven't sold out our stadium?
For U.S., yeah, right. For
City, we've sold it out every game.
Yep.
Whereas I don't know.
I'm not paying that much money to see that dog shit game.
No,
I'm
and we
sorry.
sold out St. Kitts
And
and
Nevis,
Nevis for
yeah.
the Gold Cup, and we sold out U.S. women's versus Ireland. But people on the internet were like, "Oh, this is the soccer capital of America." And it's like, bro, who gives a fuck? And no disrespect to Uzbekistan, because they came out and put on a performance against Greg Berhalter because he's a dog water coach. But it's like, come on. Do you expect the people of while there's Mizzou football on, while there's youth soccer going on that parents have to take their kids to?
What day was it?
It was on Saturday at 4:30.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
USSF should have did some market research before they just threw this random friendly together, is all I'm gonna say.
Since we're talking about the U.S. and national stuff, do you see the Spanish Soccer Federation guy resigned? I forget his name, but he went up and kissed
Rubilis, I think is his name.
Rubilis, kissed one of the players.
Took him
for
long
Spain.
enough.
Somebody said the last 3 Piers Morgan interviews he did were all with sexual assault asylees or whatever the right word is.
Allegations and stuff.
Yeah.
It's just.
I think that's where he announced it, was on the Piers Morgan interview.
That whole situation is nuts.
If
Because they
What's
there was another guy that had to resign, and he just
the coach?
Yeah, the coach, and he was like, "I still don't know what I'm having to do this for." That was his statement. I still don't know what I did wrong.
Yeah, why? Why is the coach having to resign before
the
dude that did
it? Yeah, the guy that
All I know is that UEFA had that shit on lock, and we're like, yeah, Spain, you got to tell these fuckers to go, otherwise you're done for.
Which is crazy.
That is crazy.
And obviously, he had to resign, and he should have been fired. He shouldn't have had to resign. He should have been fired the day after the video came out.
Yep.
But UEFA, come on. What? Who are you? You have done business with
Yeah, I don't know if
crimes
UEFA
against humanity. What? That's crazy.
Look,
I
man.
prefer not to speak.
I mean, it's crazy.
It is crazy.
After that last World Cup, that's crazy.
I know.
Your main man is out here just saying the most ignorant shit on live television.
Today I am gay.
Crazy. That man didn't lose his job.
That was that's an all-time just what the fuck moment.
This is a simulation. It has to be.
Ugh.
It's who? Oh my God! What's the United striker Quintana? His Champions League speech where he's like, At the end of the day, we are flies.
Yeah, we are.
Soon, the science will
Eric
have us
Cantona.
living. Yeah, Cantona.
Will reverse the aging of the
And
cells.
like after he finished, the whole place was just silent.
Look that up. Eric Cantona award speech. That'll be the first result, guaranteed.
Like I get where. Oh man, we don't have to keep talking about it because just go watch it. It's the craziest shit.
He seems like he's on like mushrooms or
Mushrooms,
something
yeah,
when he's
I
like
don't know.
standing up there. Everyone's in a suit and he's just like chest hair popping, 3 buttons down, sunglasses hanging with like the Peaky Blinders hat. Like he is just he was unapologetically him.
All right, back on topic. Sorry to break away.
Yeah.
Anything else for LA Galaxy? Happy to walk away with a point at the end of the day.
Happy? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know about
Content?
happy.
Yeah, maybe.
It's fine.
It's fine.
It's okay. All right.
We got
deal.
another game in our kind of away stand. Last one of the away stand because we're coming back home on a Wednesday to play LAFC. But we play Dumpster Fire Dynamo this weekend. And let's get this out of the way. This is the game where we should rotate players.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cornell, for the love of God.
Please play the second team that
So-
you deem the second team. Whatever that is.
Well,
Play them this week.
okay. Yes, Dumpster Fire Dynamo back when we played them in what was it? May,
I don't care. We
think.
have LA at home.
No, I
coming
know, but they're fifth in the West now. Very good form. I think they've won 4 in their last 5 and drew against LA Galaxy in their last one. It's not going to be easy to go down to Houston and get a result. So
I would give up a result in Houston.
We whacked them last time. Didn't
Oh,
we?
yeah.
3-0?
I think it was 4-0.
Really? Okay.
I'd give up a result in Houston to get a dub against LA at home.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. We're not running away with it by any means, but we have a pretty considerable lead in the West now.
A couple more wins.
7 points right now. If LAFC wins their game this weekend, they technically have a game in hand on us. Them and Real Salt Lake are both tied at 40 with 27 games played, and we are 28 games played, 48 points. So if we can get a win this weekend at Houston and a win against LA at home, which I think that we should beat LA at home. Like, we are the most prolific offensive side in the MLS. We should put some goals past them because last time we kind of got embarrassed.
Actually, St. Louis are highly overperforming their XG. Therefore, the offense isn't quite as dynamic as you might think.
Is what
Is
the
what
pundits
who
on
would
the
say.
internet say.
Well, the pundits on the internet don't seem to understand that, you can play to your own strengths. We have good finishers on the team like Samuel Adeniran and Klaus.
Yes.
And we play for high XG opportunities and not a lot of those opportunities. Counterattacking high press results in mistake-prone football from the other team where we can capitalize and get good chances.
I just wanted to see if I could get you to backtrack on your XG backing throughout the season.
I mean,
No.
why, we don't ever underperform our XG because we never have a ton of XG.
Yeah, it's true. It's always overperforming.
It's always overperforming.
Even though I know that was satirical, it made me want to hit you.
Please don't hit me. I'm just trying to make an entertaining podcast.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, you're talking about eating?
No, I'm talking about
talking
you.
about
Oh,
you.
shrimp. Dadgummit.
But yeah. I mean-
LAFC's next game is they have the Galaxy at home.
I mean,
Good. The Galaxy can go lose and give them points instead of us taking some points off them. So
we're close enough to the end of the season. We could real quick try to predict the last 6 games of the season.
I don't think we should predict the last 6 games of the season. I think we should just go week by week, man. You never get too far ahead
Come
of
on,
yourself.
you're trying to get rid of our entire job for the rest of the gosh darn year.
I ain't getting paid. This ain't no job.
Oh,
Look, you're a volunteer now. Shut up.
Yeah.
dude, that's because you're the
speak when spoken
unpaid
to.
intern.
Yeah.
Sorry to break it to you live on
Everybody else
this podcast
getting paid.
episode.
Wait, you guys are getting paid?
Sorry, Mick. What do you guys think we're gonna do at Dynamo?
Tie.
Another tie, another draw.
We're not looking good away.
It's not
Hope not.
Mickey's classic. It's not looking good, bruv.
Dude,
I mean-
Houston just beat Columbus 2-0, man. That's crazy.
That is rough.
Welcome to Parity League. I do not care about a team's most recent result anymore. I'm going to just
I
go
mean-
off the vibes and throw something out there.
I don't even care about the Houston result. All I care about is that LAFC result.
Yeah, I'm going to go. I bet you money that Carnell
Money.
plays our best lineup this weekend. And we win against Houston 3-1, and then we play our not best lineup on Wednesday, and we'll see what happens there. We got to wait, and then you'll get the prediction for that one.
Oh, me. I'll say 1-0 St. Louis and Houston.
God, snooze fest.
Yeah, I know. It's unfortunate, but we're going to have to
I mean-
grind one out, I think.
I don't know if this last game was a little bit of an indicator. As long as we maybe go with a little bit more defensive of a lineup, I think and Klaus can keep rolling.
It's going to be the Uwu
Yeah.
Cup.
You know what?
True.
I do feel good about it. I just don't like that two pivot, the double pivot.
I think it might look better with Gio being back into the lineup. I think over Adeniran.
Gio and Adeniran.
No,
I mean,
Gio and Klaus.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it might look a little bit better. Yeah, that is a ridiculous
He
challenge.
sold the bag on
I
that
still cannot believe that happened.
It's okay, Adeniran.
one. Yeah. We
Yeah.
still love you.
We do still love you.
You've been clinical finisher. Actually, I think the most clinical finisher in the league by the numbers. They were talking about it on the
XG.
No. Just like minutes per goal. He's at like 7 goals in 650 something minutes, which is kind of ridiculous.
It's so funny because I know that there's a fan club in Minnesota and I know that there's a fan club in Seattle of like just like depression because they're
Because
having
they
to
let 'em
watch
go.
they're
Yeah.
having to watch their players just absolutely piss Smurf on everybody in the MLS for St. Louis City. It's
Piss
so
Smurf.
What's a gaming term, Mickey? You wouldn't get it.
yeah.
Pog.
Yeah. And on that
You got
note,
that one.
thank you all for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. Comment on the video if you want to ask us a question. We're always open to answering them on the podcast.
True enough.
Make sure you tune in for the next episode of Arch Rivals and the next episode of Soul of the City after we dumpster the Dynamo.
Ding dong.
Thank you for watching this episode of Soul of the City, brought to you by First Touch Media and Anchor FM. Make sure to check us out on YouTube at First Touch Media, and all of our socials are at First Touch 314. Thank you for watching.